Shimano were nowhere to be seen a few years ago at the top end of e-bike racing. But if racing really is an indicator of true performance, they have put their foot on the gas like no other brand to catch up with and overtake the dominance that a few other brands had. And that very same technology and performance, which has made those race teams so successful, is now available to you, the rider, by way of a firmware update, which we're going to talk through in this video. With the Shimano Yeti team behind the bar, the Japanese brand have climbed to the top of that most cruel of eMTB places, the power stage, a place where only the strongest motor and rider combination can succeed. Now, back in the woods and the mountains all over the world, many riders have commented, complained even, of the lack of power of the old Shimano EP801 motor. But power is only one part of the story, because motors, let's face it, they have personalities as well, and riders, they have limits. So Shimano have decided, through all the very demanding R&D work that the team have gone through over the past few years, to give the existing EP801 motor an update. They've given it, in essence, a new personality, and there's three major changes. These are a higher assist level for boost mode, a customizable max speed cutoff progression, and extended carryover assist when you stop pedaling, otherwise known as overrun. The great news, folks, is that this technology is available to all Shimano EP801 users, and also comes as standard on all bikes after this firmware update. Now, it's all very well and good talking about the race scenario, but let's face it, many riders are simply not interested in the ticking clock. I mean, I've always really liked the Shimano motors, the E8000, the EP8, the EP801. But in essence, these changes have actually been made around the climbing ability of the EP801 motor. So at the same time, it's pointless talking about numbers and personality if the rider doesn't take the responsibility to make the most of that motor. And there's so many things to talk about. You've got line choice, you've got how to use the overrun, how to set up your bike. There's grip, there's tire pressure, there's suspension setup as well. So it's a very complicated story. It's not just one about this firmware update, it's the bigger picture too. So what have they done? Well, first of all, the assist is now different. The assistance in the highest boost mode is now higher. This means that there's a far faster response when you push on the pedals, leading to the maximum torque being reached far quicker. So that's going to have a massive impact on steppy terrain, on rooty terrain, on climbing. It's going to make the riding more fun, and it's also going to raise the level of what you're going to be able to do on your eMTB. The second feature is a new customizable max speed cutoff. Riders can now customize how the EP801 system cuts off power when the max assist speed is reached. Whether you want a more natural wind down of power for a smooth cutoff, or want to maximize the assist all the way to the cutoff point, the choice is all yours. Now, extended assist is what happens to you and the bike once you stop pedaling. For example, this is actually the old EP801 system. Now, what the firmware update has changed is it means that there's a longer amount of overrun. When you stop pedaling on the new firmware update, which I'll demonstrate a bit later, is that motor is going to keep on giving. So that's going to have a major effect on your potential to climb technical climbs. So for example, if you're in a rooty situation like this, or a steppy situation, some of the time you might be physically tired, you're in a bit of a state, you're in a bit of a knot. That overrun will actually carry you through the terrain to help you recompose. That in turn is going to have an impact on your ability to reposition your body, because let's face it, traction is a very important part of climbing. So that overrun means you're going to be able to reposition your body and maintain traction. And I think thirdly, and most importantly, it's going to make the whole business of climbing that much more possible for you, the rider. Now, it's important to understand that the firmware update is said to give you a significant performance upgrade on your Shimano EP801 bike, and you're going to get that for free. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a run on my test hill climb stage. I'm going to do it on the existing old system or current system. So then we're going to pop down to my local bike shop, Pedal Syndicate, get the bike updated, come back here and see what those changes actually mean to the performance out on the hill. 3, 2, 1. Okay, I'm in boost mode on this hill climb on the older EP801 system. Really steep climb this. Good conditions today, good traction, and there will be roots and steps in the terrain as we get up. There's a rooty ground, so I'm thinking overrun will help me when I do another run later. Top of this tree. $110. Oh, $110. Save that. So how are you going to get this firmware update which will totally transform your Shimano EP801 bike? Well, it's very simple. You phone up your local Shimano dealer, you book a slot which will only take around about 5 to 10 minutes. You charge up your bike, you make sure it's clean and bring it on in. So I've just delivered my exceptionally clean Canyon Spectralon to Martin here at the Pedal Syndicate in Monmouth. Mart, I'm here to get the firmware update on the motor, but whilst it's with you, you can do other things as well, which are only available in a shop, right?
Yeah, through the like the PC-based version of eTube, we can actually look into customization of how the system works. We can also go into like error logs, so if you've had issues with the bike, they will flag up as certain errors, much like you would on your car when you take it to a dealership. We can download that and send it to Shimano for warranty issues, and also we can look at mileage and all the stuff that's gone on in the background, charge cycles of the battery and that for instance. But we're here today, folks, to do my firmware update so I can get some more assistance, some more overrun. So how long is this going to take? Should probably only take a couple of minutes, if that. So we've selected all the components we want to update. We just press update. We agree to everything, as you always do, read in any disclaimers, and it is updating. Timer's running.
Oh, wow. Wow, it's as simple as that. There's also some other personal information stored here as well, isn't there?
Yeah, we can obviously see how the bike's been used, and we can export service reports and logs for the bike.
When you say how the bike's been used, what do you mean exactly?
Well, when somebody comes in and says they don't use boost very often, we know that they do. So
you can see here my usage on this bike is...
Yeah, how much, the percentage of time spent in trail, eco. There's only 4% in eco there.
There you go. You're saying the right things there, Martin. So I've literally spent 65% in trail mode and 29% in eco, so sorry, in turbo. So and you can also see your total distance, total time you use on the bike.
Yep. Yeah.
Okay, so I can have, look at all these. You can give maximum torque, assistance start, assistance carryover. So we've now done our firmware update on the Canyon Spectralon. So what we've adjusted on the screen here is you've got the assistance start. That's how quick the bike responds to your pedal input. So we've got it as a quick response. And then the most important thing of all, which I think, is the assistance carryover. So you've got short or long carryover. We get it on long. And then there's 3 presets within that. There's natural, middle, or aggressive. So we've set it to the most aggressive, which means you're going to be able to get up those technical climbs and those steps a lot more efficiently. So Mark, the overrun character is something you can only adjust on the computer in the shop at the moment, right?
Yeah, at the moment it's something, yeah, you're bringing it into your local store, get that adjusted, but I think eventually it will be adjustable on the app. Yeah. But we've had no clarification of that yet.
Right, I think time now, folks, to go and try my new updated Canyon Spectralon on the trail. Okay, so what? You've actually got a faster eMTB. You've got a more powerful eMTB in the boost mode. That's going to be of a significant impact to technical rides, for heavier riders and for racing. I think for me, the most important factor is the overrun. Now remember, you can customize this bike to have short, medium or long overruns. So that's purely down to you, the rider, the type of terrain you ride, and of course, weight will have an impact on that as well. Now previously on the 801, if I'd have stopped pedaling, the bike would have stopped, so there's a chance of tipping over. Now, the bike's got your back, so you can actually take your time up these technical climbs, spot your lines better, and make sure you get it right. Okay, now to me, this is a big reason why the update's important. I've probably done a 2-minute climb. I'm so tired, I kind of want to stop and get off the bike. Indeed, the motor previously would have stopped had you stopped pedaling. Now, if you have a technical section, the bike will allow you to maintain your flow and your momentum up the hill. It basically gives you a breather while you recompose yourself. Okay, so I've come up the hill, I've done 2 minutes of climbing. I want to stop, yet now I can soft pedal and the bike just takes me through. 3, 2, 1. Okay, so I'm now on board with the updated EP801 motor. Into this really grueling, steep climb. It'll be really interesting to see how the overrun has an effect on some of the rooty stuff. Gut feeling, less sting in the legs. Okay, roots. Yeah, definitely feel that overrun. Remember, I put it in the most aggressive mode. .104. So I did a time of 1 minute 10 with the old system, old EP801. Now been down to the shop, updated it, got the fast response on it and also the aggressive overrun, and put 6 seconds in on the time. So you can see now how the likes of Ryan Gilchrist and Mick Hanna have upped their game on the power stages at EDR-E World Cup. Remember, there's the rider element too. Pretty tired. So I think number one for me is the change in personality of the motor will mean you can maintain better flow whilst you're out riding. But folks, it's not just about uphill skills, it's about downhill and auto shift as well, because auto shift now is upgraded. It means that the motor will be able to change gear in an acceleration and a deceleration braking scenario as well. But if you want to override that, you can override that by using the manual mode, because let's face it, sometimes the rider will be able to anticipate things quicker than the bike will. So there you go, folks, free upgrade, which is going to give you a performance upgrade. So get into max torque quicker, smoother transitions at 25 kph, and of course the overrun, where you can have short, medium, or longer overrun, which in turn is going to give you increased flow up the hill. Certainly for me, when I've just been riding it the first half an hour, I've noticed that when you've got steppy ground, you can keep that front wheel in the air a little bit longer, which is going to have a massive impact on technical climbing. So you can actually keep it up in the air when you're going up over steps or routes. It really is fantastic. I think it's really cool that this technology upgrade is for free. And like I said, get yourselves down to your local Shimano dealer and it can be done in 5 minutes. Any questions, folks, let us know in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe to EMBN to see all the other fantastic Shimano motors which have preceded this one. Wow, things really are moving quite quickly.